So hello everybody, here's Niall Sebastian Power Sieger from crembassy.com. Behind me you see that forest which is quiet at the moment, so the wind level gonna be low until I start universal communication, and I'm gonna start universal communication later with family members of Ross Kemp. So the Ross Kemp who's producing the documentations, and we're gonna show you here ancestors communication, how wind is used. Very important. And Ross Kemp did a docu with another woman, and the family members of that woman, so ancestors of her, are trying to reach her, and I posted a video on the Facebook page of Ross Kemp from the Familly Darbisher. I spelled it wrong in the documentation I posted there. So Claire Darbisher was the lady, and I'm gonna communicate later with them as well. Hopefully everything will work out. This is the first video we are doing now, and if I say we, I mean me and family members of Ross Kemp. Give me a moment. In the beginning, maybe I have to optimize my communication with them. And Ross, be clear, it's like in the military, I have to communicate very clear with them, otherwise I will have problems to communicate with them, because it's not so simple. So, it's very windy. The wind level now in the surrounding, so that you can see it is clear communication. So give your own ancestors a moment to reduce the wind level again. Maybe it is because they're so happy that they maybe reach you, okay? But I will ask that later specific, and then they can reply after I've finished my question. Okay, because you have to understand it's specific universal communication, so that's why it's so necessary. Keep the wind level, please, reduced, is what I'm telling the ancestors of Ross Kemp. So Ross, as you can see, the wind level is reduced, and to the ancestors of Ross Kemp, please keep it quiet until I finish each question. Until I finish each question is absolutely important. Keep the forest quiet so that Ross have the chance to understand that. So Ross, I'm a man who's able to communicate with ancestors, and the family Derbyshire actually contacted your family because they wanted to say thank you to you, and then your family contacted me. So it's also a little gift from the family Derbyshire, because you potentially help the family Derbyshire to find Claire. This is what I requested on the website, on your Facebook page. I'm sorry for that. So to the ancestors of Ross Kemp, you are the ancestors of Ross Kemp. So produce some wind for that and make that. That's correct, right? The family members of Ross Kemp. Okay. And Ross, you can see more movement. Shake the trees a little bit more one time. And I'm gonna optimize my communication with them, Ross, because I had a feelings transfer when I was at the place where I do live, and then I had to walk to this huge park. So I have to optimize my communication with them because I just started and the cameras are on. Okay, that you understand that situation. It's like you're doing an interview and you have to optimize your team and yourself with the interview partner. Okay, that's the way you can get it. So, okay, I'm gonna describe you what I see. The one part here is quiet. The part on the left side, there is still a little bit wind. So we can use the right side. Was it right that you were shaking so early the trees because you were so happy that you can reach Ross Kemp and you are the family members, so ancestors of Ross Kemp, then please produce a lot of wind for that and make it very clear. And Ross, watch here. Now the wind waves are reaching these trees and the crowns are shaking like a La Ola wave, as you know it from football, okay? These are the identification of the creatures I'm communicating with. So the information we have so far, I received the feelings transfers, what I can tell you. They identify themselves as your ancestors, but I do not know specific which one of your ancestors. But they're connected with each other in their afterlife as creatures who have lived as human beings before. That you understand that, okay? So for the ancestors of Ross Kemp, they're doing some wind now. That's for Ross, okay? That's because they say yes to the identification. But because you have to understand the communication system, it would not make sense if they always say yes to everything I speak out. So I have to ask them specific questions so they can reduce the wind level in between again. So that your eyes get used to the communication system and that you can understand this. Because if we do it too fast, you will be unable to understand it. I can communicate very fast with your ancestors, but we cannot make it so transparent so fast because they can communicate by thoughts with me, and my thoughts I cannot capture on video camera. Okay, that's important. And you have full teams. If you want, you can contact me and we can try that live with your here and your camera teams and everything. Okay, that's an offer from my side. And to the ancestors, can you produce a wind wave in that area here with shaking that part more and that part over here, please? So shake the line one time again if you would show yourself in case Ross Kemp wants to try that. And for Ross, I cannot guarantee it, but they are reacting now. Clearly, as you can see, there's the wind wave coming, and also there's the wind level there where I pointed my finger. Okay, it is possible to communicate so specific. So you have to watch the trees, the crowns, and where my hand is showing them to produce and canalize winds. Okay, and they're agreeing on that by a higher wind level. So they can use a higher wind level to agree on something, or they can bring me into a situation where I have to ask further questions by reducing the wind level. They can use a very low wind level in case they want to say yes, but people which are alive, so their family members, if the creatures, the ancestors are unsure how they will see it, because maybe you do not know universal communication. So it is a bit complex, but I'm trying my best to explain it to you. So if they want to bring me into a situation where I have to ask further questions, they also can reduce the wind level. And important for the ancestors again, please try to reduce the wind level now one more time. I give you a moment because then Ross' eyes can realize how specific the communication is. They're agreeing on that by using a higher wind level. And then please do not react to my thoughts or to what I say for a moment. I'm gonna turn around and then I'm gonna ask you the next question. So I'm gonna turn to you, Ross, and I'm gonna wait a moment because you can see it was a high wind level. So your ancestors need a short moment to canalize the wind away from the trees again in that forest. As you can see, the forest is very big. I'm gonna show you later the surrounding of this area. It's the Rheinau Park in Bonn, Germany. And I have a website, seaembassy.com, which is informing about ancestors communication, where you can find many videos in German, so from ancestors which died in Germany, and in English from ancestors from England, Ireland, I think, gonna be on there, United States, and so on. Okay? Because I do speak German and English, so it's easy for me to make it transparent in both languages. And there's also a Facebook page. Maybe I'm gonna add the link so that you can find it easily. And by the way, if you are willing to help to find Claire Darbisher, thank you very much for that, because I couldn't find her on the internet. Just that you know. I look at the forest now, it's quiet again. The left part, I need the right part to be quiet. Please keep that quiet. Also, please reduce the wind level everywhere. So I turn back to the camera and give them some more time, because the whole forest is captured by that camera. And this camera is showing you the size, how high the trees are. So I'm gonna turn around in 20-30 seconds, and then hopefully they made it to keep it quiet. Then I can go on with the next question. And Ross, as I told you in the beginning, if you communicate with creatures and for your ancestors, do not reply to what I tell Ross now. Do not make wind to agree on stuff. Keep it quiet. That's for your ancestors, the information. And for Ross, the information for you is, as I said in the beginning, I have to optimize my communication with them. It's difficult for them sometimes too, because they can outread my thoughts. Sometimes creators have to learn to not react to my thoughts, because you cannot see my thoughts. So they have to react only to the stuff I'm speaking out, and only to specific communication when I ask questions. Otherwise, your eyes will not understand that, to see that well, and your brain will not be able to work with the information you receive here captured on video camera. And that's normal if you do not practice universal communication. So it's not because you're weak, it's normal also for the other people which are watching the video. It's normal that your brain cannot handle that if we on our side do not try our best to make it very specific transparent. So I turn around, do not produce wind at the moment. It's more quiet. The right side is too much wind still. Keep it please quiet. Keep it quiet as possible. Quiet, the whole area. Keep it quiet please as possible. Do not agree for the moment. Keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. So Ross, that's optimization, because they're used to react with wind to agree on something. Okay, but now they have to keep it quiet, or your eyes cannot see it very well, cannot see the difference very well, and you will not be able to understand. Now it is more quiet. So I ask again, you would show yourself again if Ross Kemp wants to send questions, to reply to them, to answer them, or if he wants to come to Bonn to film it by himself with his camera teams, and then he could ask questions to his family members live here in Bonn, for example. Please produce a lot of wind to give him the double answer that he can understand that. And please use a high wind level so that he can see that clearly, and the people which are watching the video. And please start to send the wind waves in now. So they agreed in the tree there, and now they will produce the wind level. And you, yeah, produces everywhere. Good. Good, there are the waves. Can you see it, Ross? There are waves coming in. That's the way they can communicate, like a Ola wave, because it's such a big forest. It's not one tree, it's a big area. I'm gonna show the area to Ross later for the family up there, that you know that I'm gonna walk with him to the forest later on, and I'm gonna capture that on video as well, okay? So can you produce some more wind here on the side, please? Look at this, Ross, where my lighter is pointing. Please produce wind there to be very specific and clear. Please shake the trees there in that area. And also this tree here. Yes, the crown is shaking. I could see a clear wind wave. So. Okay, they keep it quiet now. That's very great. So you could see the reactions, but your eyes have to get used to it. You have good video equipment, so you have huge screens and everything, because you work in that video field. That's good. Ross, to understand it for you better, if I, for example, if I optimize my communication with creators I do not know yet for 10-15 minutes, then it can work very well. But these are individual creatures, so your family members are individuals. If you do practice universal communication, each creature you're communicating with is different. I do communicate with one of your ancestors, and I'm gonna ask some questions by my thoughts, and I'm gonna speak them out, and I leave a moment. So if I hit the right one, they can react. Okay, and I do not know, for example, if your parents are still alive or not. Just that you know, so I have to ask that question. Is it the mom of Ross Kemp? Is it the dad of Ross Kemp? Then please produce wind if that's correct. Is it the granddad of Ross Kemp? Okay, if it's the mother, please produce a wind wave to be absolutely clear and make it clear to Ross Kemp. And Ross, watch this. Watch the wind wave coming in now. Watch the crowns, please. And to the mother, please shake also this side. So if you are the mom of Ross Kemp, who lost her human body, please shake all the crowns. Please be absolutely clear to him if that information is correct. Ross Kemp, watch the crowns now closely. They all start to shake here and very clear. So potentially, that's the creature who have lived as your mom from the identification we have so far. Okay, it's like a police interview. If you prepare yourself, if you want to do that, want to try that with your camera team, you can bring questions. You produce a catalog of questions for yourself where you feel comfortable with to identify the creature, and you go like you come here like you would go to a police interview with a criminal, and you bring most private questions they have to answer. And you do not have to speak them out for yourself for a moment. You can think about it and then they can react to it. So if I'm close to you, I do not even have to know what you're asking them. And that's the way you can keep it private as possible, and you can identify them. And then you can produce a video by yourself with your ancestors. So you are the mom of Ross Kemp, as far as I understand. All right. So I say thanks to the Familly Darbisher, because now it starts to work. The optimization is a little bit better. The wind level is very good. That's something Ross can understand very well. And in between, as I said, you have to reduce them a little bit so that his eyes can understand everything. And when I speak out, she can agree, and that's why you could see a clear wind wave. Okay, if I optimize myself with the creator who have lived as human being before, and they use that kind of communication method, then after a long while they can agree to one specific word in a long sentence. They can be so specific and so direct after a process of optimization, because I do not know your mom very well. That's a fact, right? And we just started the communication. Can you agree on that by triggering the wind one more time? And Ross, we just started when I did put on a camera, and shortly before, when I was home, I received a feelings transfer. So I did know this should be your ancestors, but I did not know who it was specific. Okay? So to the mom, you can agree on the stuff I said? If you can agree on the stuff I said, then please make a clear wind wave. Let's say over here, because and over here in this tree, that would be great if you can shake the crown here, because that one was quiet. I ensure that it's captured. I changed that a little bit. Yes, now it's going to be captured. So shake that crown if it's true, if I said the right stuff, if you can agree on that from your side and from your opinion. And now she's bringing the wind from there to there, so she's canalizing, and you can see more wind is reaching the crown area here, and I need it on the side over here, and now you can see the wind wave coming in. Okay, so now the crown is moving more. Okay, so yes, keep it quiet again for a moment, and then maybe I ask some further questions, and they're going to think about the questions shortly before I ask them, and please just reply after I finished speaking it out. Okay? She's saying yes with the reaction here you see in the crowns and with the reaction over there. And then to Ross Kemp, I give her a moment again to keep the area quiet. One camera I'm gonna capture the area, and with the other I'm gonna show you where I am for a short moment, so that you can see everything and understand everything. I'm here in Bonn in the Rheinauer. So there's the second camera. I just have cell phones. I'm a poor man. I do not have good equipment. That's the post tower here in Bonn in the Rheinauer. So it's like the central post offices. And that's the huge park. I turn around so that you can see everything. And we're gonna walk to that area back there later as well. Okay? So that you can understand the scale and that you can see as much as possible as I can capture with the two cameras I got here. Hopefully the material is good because, well, you are doing documentations, you are used to luxury stuff, and I'm just having two cell phones. So your mom is agreeing on that. Yeah, but please reduce the wind level, and then I can start with the next questions. Because maybe you have the chance then to give Ross some more information about other family members. Okay, so therefore please keep it quiet as possible for a moment. And Ross, I'm gonna be behind the camera. I'm gonna drink something for a second because it's very hot. So I'm gonna enjoy a soft drink and gonna take two puffs on my long cigarette. And then I'm back in front of the camera. Do not wonder. So your mom have the chance to keep everything quiet for a moment, and that your eyes get used to it and see the difference. So now you can see your mom did keep everything quiet. She was producing a lower wind level, and that's why everything is quiet. And that's how you can see how specific it is. If you would stand here now also to the other viewers, you could feel the wind if I would communicate over a tree which is close to me, and she can use the whole natural environment surrounding me, many kilometers actually. So she can control the natural environment and she can canalize wind. That you understand that? That's ancestors communication like the Druids did. The best of the Druids did that in the past 1,000 years. Also in Britain, as far as I know, the Queen got a Druids circle stuff going on. But I don't know if they can practice ancestors communication. Niall is in Irish also describing the highest master class of Druids regarding healing, regarding natural law and stuff like that. Just for an information, by the way. So, to the mom, do you want to tell Ross Kemp that the rest of the family is doing well up there? And please give me a transfer to my human body, which she can do, and reply by wind as well, so I can ensure I understood everything right. Yes, everybody is doing well, Ross. That's also the signal I received, and she's agreeing on that by triggering the wind clearly, and there you can see the clear difference and how specific she can react if she catch me correct and if I catch her correct, and our communication is optimized. And that's with the most creatures which have lived as human beings before the case if I do universal communication, but all creatures are different. Also the natural intelligence level, everything is different, but your mom is quite smart because we just started. The optimization was not too long, so do not worry about that. And she agreed on that the family is doing all right. Your family, your ancestors, is doing all right up there. And to be specific, there are some little problems in the universe. She's agreeing on that. But what she's saying is you shouldn't be too worried. The family is all right as it is up there at the moment. Okay? Get it like that. And she's agreeing on that where my hand was pointing, that's where she's triggering the wind, and now she's using all the crux. Okay? And that's great, that's very clear, that's very good, that's perfect. Okay, that's perfect, Ross. You can see she's trying her best to reach you and to be specific and to be clear. That's a very good job to the mom of Ross, because sometimes I do deal with creators where it's more difficult and where there can be problems in the communication process. Okay? And yes, I did ask a question by thoughts in between, Ross, that you know, so there's gonna be no specific wind reaction to that. I asked her if you're gonna come, if you want to do that, if you would be able to communicate with other ancestors as well, you maybe want to reach. And she said yes to that question. Just that you know, so you can contact me if you're ever in Germany because of any documentation stuff or whatever. We can meet up. Then you can bring your own camera teams. You can do your own stuff. Beside that, I'm filming with 2 cameras. What's for the public? You can have a private meeting with your family and all that. I'm gonna explain the universal communication system. I'm gonna be maybe a few hundred meters away in your private session, and you have my phone number, and in case of problems you then can call me and I will help you to optimize the communication again, because sometimes there can be a break in the communication or so on. Okay, there can be little problems, but it is also possible normally to solve the problems, but it can take some time, and universal communication have to be optimized all the time. Your mom is agreeing to that by producing clear wind. Okay, where my hand was up before in that area, and now she's shaking also the area over here. So that's very great. And that you understand it, they can work with wind waves. Okay, which means if I say 3 sentences and one is correct, after you have learned and optimized your eyes to watch the whole thing, after that you will understand that you can outread the wind waves. So you can speak faster than I'm doing it now, and they can react specific. And then in between, because you speak faster, there can be a little problem, then you just have to re-ask a question. Okay? So, and she's agreeing on that by using a wind wave. That's the wind wave you could see there, and then the wind is going in there where the other trees are. Okay? She's showing that to you. And the wind wave is going like this, like electric boogie breakdance, you know that, huh? All right. Hopefully you're doing well, Ross. Me, Niall, I watched the documentations of you sometimes, and I like them, actually. I saw a picture on Facebook. Hopefully you recover a bit, because I saw that you have been to a treatment and all that, so hopefully you're doing well soon. That's from my side, and I think, yeah, your mom is agreeing. Yeah, you can see that. You have to understand she can use the wind waves. And I'm gonna show you something. I asked her something with thoughts. I'm gonna turn one camera around to that tree here. So later you have a few trees in the picture. I have to check that you can see everything best as possible. So I have to change the camera position a bit. Just 1 second. So that you can see the huge crown of this tree. That's the area here, okay? And she can use now both. Okay, I focused on the tree standing beside me. She's shaking the crown and she's producing wind waves in the down part of the tree. And she also gonna communicate over the area over here. So she's gonna communicate on the part of the lake where I'm standing and on the other side of the lake. Both. Okay, I give your mom a moment to reduce the wind level everywhere, and then we can restart again, and I'm going to take another zip and having a short smoke, and then I'm back in front of the camera. So now I'm in front of the other camera, which is capturing the tree close to me. And the mom gonna canalize the wind in the forest and on the tree over here. Can you please start to do both one time? Then Ross Kemp can see how complex you can communicate. And can you agree on the fact that the Familly Darbisher did informed you as well? Because they wanted to say thank you to Ross Kemp in case he's helping to find Claire Darbisher, who we have filmed in a documentation because the family wants to reach her. Can you agree on that? Can you canalize the wind then in the forest and in the tree where I'm standing to make clear that you can use a complex area actually? That would be great for Ross Kemp. And Ross, you see in the tree where I'm standing in the camera position, the wind starts here to shake, and you could see in the forest, shake everything, shake this tree and shake the forest, and keep going with this, and then I explain it to Ross, okay? I'm talking to your mom now, give me a second, because that's a new situation, so we have to optimize a little bit again. Now, I hope that I do not overload him, okay? Because that's a lot I'm requesting. So I'm testing her out, Ross. You could see before it is specific communication. And now I want to give you the answer. Your mom starts to produce wind over here, okay, which you can see on the other camera. The other camera is showing you the forest. That's where my hand is pointing at if I point in that area over here. That's where the forest is placed. I'll show you that for a second. Look, oops, I turn it. See, that's the forest. And she starts to canalize the wind there. And now I turn it back to the tree. And I request your mom also to produce more wind in the crown, for example, to show him how specific it's working. That would be great. And you can see in the down part of the tree that she's doing her best also to canalize wind. And now in the crown you see that the movements do start, very specific. She's canalizing wind there. And that's why the leaves do start to shake. That you get that, okay? Can you shake the crown a little bit more here in front of me? Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And you can see on the other camera, she's shaking the whole forest and she's shaking now the crown and this tree, everything together, okay? So your mom is able to do very complex communication, and I think I could help a little bit if you can see everything. Um, I'm gonna turn the camera again. That's the area here. I'm gonna turn the camera again so that the people can see on both cameras again, and that everything is captured well. I have to, sorry, change that a little bit so you can see more. The flower in the one camera which is captured now, and she can also shake the flowers. Can you start now? Can you start to canalize some wind over here where I'm standing? Ross can see that on one camera. And Ross, you see more wind is canalized here, and now it's even going like that because of the wind. Okay, it was a little bit more quiet before, and that's also your mom, so she can canalize the wind very, very specific. What I think is if you would come to Bonn, for example, if you want to try that, if everything works out on the day, and I cannot guarantee that to you, I can guarantee to you that I will try my best and support you, okay? And I cannot guarantee for other creators, but your family communicated they would be there for you and they would try their best to show themselves and to communicate, okay, that you get it. So you have 2 yeses, one from me and one from your ancestors. So, and then you could walk, for example, with the camera team to the park, through the park, through the whole area, and your mom, for example, or other ancestors could, in a way, fly with you and canalize the wind wherever you walk with your camera team. And then you would have to optimize that for 20-30 minutes maybe in the communication after you learned everything, which will need another 15 to 30 minutes because I think you are a smart guy, okay? And then you could walk through the park and document the universal communication you doing with your own ancestors, for yourself, for your family, and if you want to, maybe even for the public. Would the mom support him if he wants to do that for the public? Yes or no? Yes. start the crowns, please, clearly? Yes? Yes. So that's a little yes, is that correct? Yes. That's a little yes, because she's unsure if you want to do that. That's the reason, okay? But she would support you. And of course, it's your family, so it's private. Maybe you don't want to do that, but you have the offer to contact me, and then I can help you with trying to reach your family, that you get the connection to communicate with them directly, that you understand the communication system, and I can produce with them some data which could be published, or you could say I want a private session. Without that, you film and publish the data on ciembassy.com. This one I'm gonna publish on ciembassy.com because your ancestors did agree. But even in the other case, I would help you. So even if you want just a private session, that's no problem for me. I would help you, and yeah, you can use that chance actually. And I'm here in Bonn, Germany. Or if you want to send questions, that I should film it and send the questions back to you, I also can do that. And you can request that you can say, okay, now you can publish the data if you want to, or you can request if I can ask them some private questions. But please keep the questions a bit limited. So let's say 15 to 20 questions maximum. And if you are here, you can ask them much more. You can go for a walk for an hour. That's no problem with me. But if I have to ask the question, please keep them limited to 20 questions. And please understand, they can say yes or no. That's what I can agree the easiest way with them. If we optimize our communication, then they can explain to you, like I did with them, explain to you now. They were using the wind. I was explaining it with my words. And for the people which are also watching the video, it's because the ancestors do not have a human body anymore. So that's why they're using to canalize the wind. Okay? So there are many offers for you, Ross. If you want to do that, if you want to try that, you also can send me questions. If you do not feel too well at the moment, for example, you can send some questions, and then I can send you a video back in private, but then you have to send me an email address, so then I'm not going to publish them. Or I can publish them on ciembassy.com. You can watch it there however you like. Just be clear, the best is if you speak out in a short video and send me the short video. Okay, that would be the greatest. Or you could just type an email however you like, however you want. Okay, to the mom. That was a good video. I check it out now. It's 38 minutes. I have to upload all that stuff. Is it okay if we stop the video? A little yes. You want to do more communication with them, is that right? Then trigger the wind for that. And Ross, I have to do another video, so I have to stop very soon. Just that you know, it's nothing against you. It's because many creatures want to reach their living family members, and I'm one of the human beings who is able to help them by making it transparent, by explaining, by requesting their answers and stuff like that. And that's the reason why I keep it a little bit short. And also the upload time where I live is very, very long, because the internet is very, very slow also. So your family know already. I'm gonna end the video very soon. And you want to use the chance to say goodbye. And Ross understood they want to communicate more with you. Okay, you got that? Your mom wants to communicate more with you. And your mom can say now goodbye by using a lot of wind. And she can agree on the fact that she wants to communicate some more with you. And as soon as Ross is contacting me, we can try that. Okay, because I just told him I will help. And then I will try to reach you. And my mom, I'm also in contact with my own mom, that Ross Kemp, to understand that. She lost her human body as well. She also can fly around and find others if they did communicate before. So you can communicate with my own mom, and she will help them at that moment in time. I think she's gonna do that, okay? And you see, your mom is agreeing to that, your mom, Ross, and she's saying goodbye with the wind wave. You can see over here, and very clear. And I think it's also goodbye from your whole family, so from the whole ancestors you have up there. Yeah, I leave that on for a moment, and I'm gonna leave on the camera for a moment. You can also use the plant, and then Ross have some beautiful pictures if you do the wind, okay? Oh, and Ross are gonna walk with you through the park area here, through the forest as well, and I'm gonna put the cameras on there. That you get it right. So maybe your mom gonna show herself there as well. I'm not sure about that because I have to do another video as well. Because the family Derbyshire wants to say thank you, as your mom explained, right? So I think me and Ross' mom is sure that he's more interested in his own family, and that's all right. But Ross, you have heard the family Derbyshire saying thank you. The ancestors I had contact with. Okay, so maybe I can spend some more time in there if the family Derbyshire accept that. Can would you accept? I'm also connected with them today because I did upload the other video. I did inform you and all that. Would the family Derbyshire accept that? But you want to show him a thank you as well, right? In case he's searching for Claire. Okay, yes, that's the family Derbyshire over here. That plant here. Okay, then you get it right. And that's, you could see when I spoke out, then the clear reaction. So they're requesting your help if you have the address and the date and everything of Claire Derbyshire, which was seen in the one documentation, because they would be really happy if she's receiving the other video material, because of what happened in her life, and maybe that would be a great relief. Is that what you also think? It would be maybe a great relief for her, for Claire to receive the video material and to understand everything? And she would have the chance to communicate with you also, because the offer for free is in there as well, and she also can send some questions. Then produce some wind here to make it clear to Ross. That's the family Derbyshire, and I want to say thank you. Hopefully I spelled it right out this time. And with the wind wave, they're agreeing on there the family from Clare Derbyshire, and because I spelled it out in the documentation, so they're making it clear. And then if you watch closely on a huge screen, you can see that now more wind is reaching the leaves. I showed you, for example, over here, okay? And now they shake the plant a little bit. Okay. Yeah, he can see that now. All right, he can see that. Yes, good. And to Ross Kemp, I can switch communication, so I can, one after the other, I can communicate with more than one creature. But it's good when I had contact with them before to ensure that they're here and that I'm able to communicate with the creature, the right creature for the right thing, and that I can ensure it on the best possible human level. Let me say it like that, because mistakes can happen, and that's why I always provide, and the ancestors always provide the chance to send questions to the ancestors directly from private stuff, also for Claire and for you, so then you can identify best as possible for a human your own family members. You can send different questions for different family members, maybe stuff you know from their life, and you can create tests. Okay, you can create a written test, and then they have to go through the test, to your test, and they will try their best to 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 achieve that you do understand which one of your ancestors it is, and that each individual of your own family is the individual communicating with. And the best is if you do that and send some questions, and also for Claire Derbyshire, if she wants to, you can do that, send some questions, or you both of you can come over here and we can try that. The best is 2 days would be absolutely great, because on the first day then you can learn the communication system. 1 day can be also enough. I just started the communication with your family when the cameras went on shortly before, but I had a feelings transfer during midday already when I was communicating with the family Derbyshire, and they wanted to say thank you to you, and that's also why they informed your family members that you get it right, Ross, and that Claire maybe get it right if she sees the video material as well. So thank you to everybody, to all the creators, and with the mom of Ross Kemp, maybe we're gonna communicate after I walked on the other side of the lake, because they are gonna use the cameras again to show Ross Kemp the area and everything. Um, maybe she can show herself a short while, because I do not want to produce a 2 hours video, because that's bringing problems on my PC because I have so much video stuff on that. I'm sure you know the storage is a problem if you do produce videos. And yeah, I'm a broke man, so my equipment is bullshit. That's why I'm filming with 2 cell phones. Sorry for that, because you are professional regarding films. I'm not. I'm just trying to help families to understand that their loved ones are still existing, still able to communicate, still intelligent, and I have helped the ancestors to reach living families, like you are a family member. Thank you for watching for this part. From me, the Darbisher family was it, and the family Kemp, the family of Ross Kemp, the mom in that case. Okay, I'm gonna go to the forest and then I'm gonna keep on filming a little bit and I'm gonna add everything together and then I'm gonna upload. So hi, here's Niall again. Actually, I'm on the way to the forest and the mom from Ross Kemp wants to show how she can trigger the wind with the shift here, and she's gonna do that now. And you see the shift starts to receive some more wind, and she's gonna send wind waves into that. See that? How specific that goes? No? These are special wind waves so that Ross can understand that, and that's how ancestors can communicate very, very specific. Okay, that's typical ancestors communication. And in that way, you could walk with the camera team to the area, and she could walk with you, she could fly with you, and react to your questions and solve them. That you get it right. And that's why she triggered the wind waves, to show you how clear she can produce the waves I've talked about before in the other video, right? And that's why the shift is going like this, and it was quiet before. It was less wind waves, and now she's producing the clear waves. So I'm gonna walk to the forest now, and she just wanted to show you that you can understand it better if you would walk with the camera team to the area. She could communicate with you so specific and so clear. So if you walk through an area with a lot of shield, she could reply to specific sentences you do speak out. So okay, I'm gonna go to the forest and then I'll keep going with other video material, maybe with your mom as well. You want to do some video material there as well? Yes or no? I just should walk through? Should I just walk through? You are unsure, is that the case? Unsure? Then send one clear wind wave for us to see that again, that you are unsure, and now you can see Ross, she's answering specific by sending a wind wave, and then it goes like that. Okay, I'm gonna walk through the forest and then we see what's going on. So that's the next part and the last part of the video. That's the forest area. I'm gonna show you where we have been before, and just gonna use one camera because then I don't have to build up everything, all the equipment stuff. Here was one of the trees we used, and she used, but you could see it from the other part before where both cameras were on. She used that area over here. I'm gonna try to capture that best as possible. I'm gonna hold my hand over the water. So these are the huge trees you have seen before, and I'm gonna walk with you guys now through that forest, just to show Ross Kemp how huge it is, how big it is. And that's the forest the mom of Ross Kemp used a few moments ago to communicate, and she can show that maybe here. I'm gonna ask her. She wants to show that, so she's gonna start to shake this tree, which I'm filming at the moment, a little bit. So now she starts So you can see the leaves, and I show you the rest of this place. This is the rest of the forest, which is totally quiet. There you can see how specific it is. And because it was so quiet, she then needs a second to bring the wind wave to a specific place. I did not communicate with your mom, Ross, before to use that tree. So she did not know that I'm going to request wind at that specific point. Okay? And that's the forest area. And here is the other part of the lake where we were filming before, to this side. Okay? So, here's a huge tree. Do the mom want to produce some wind here? And you could see in the crown, she's producing wind, and she's gonna canalize more wind in the area over here where this tree is filmed. Okay, I tried to hold the camera as quiet as possible. There you can see the wind wave for us. That's how specific she can work and how clear your mom can communicate with humans which are able to do universal communication to practice that. Okay? So if it's not working because you have not learned to do that, and because the conditions are maybe not like that, do not worry about that. Okay? Because not all humans can do that, and it's very complex. You have to learn a lot. You have to understand the communication system. And I would show you some stuff if you want to come to Germany, if you want to meet up, if you want to try to communicate with your mom. Okay. And there she's using the schilf again, which you hopefully can see. I'm holding the camera, so it's not 100% quiet, but she's using a lot of wind in this area there. See that? Okay. So, if you want, you can contact me over ciaembassy.com. And that was your mom, Ross Kemp, as she identified herself. And hopefully you received the information about your other ancestors as well. And she's saying goodbye now by triggering a little bit wind over here as well. That's why the leaves now do start to shake again. Okay, and you could see it was quiet before when I showed you the rest of the forest. Now she's producing wind in that area. And please watch the crown, because she's bringing the wind to the crowns. And now she's using the forest, which was quiet before, to show you the difference. Okay, hopefully the camera is quiet enough. It's difficult to hold it. I got the equipment on my back. All right, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna post it on your Facebook page. Hopefully everything is all right with you, and hopefully you recover soon from NHS by your Niall Sebastian Power Seeker and your family members. Bye, your Niall.